What's up, everybody? Time to do my next chapter review for Berserk. And in this chapter, entitled Campfire of Dreams, we get a lot of dialogue. However, in this chapter, this dialogue is very necessary. It gives us a little bit of an insight into what Guts is thinking, and he basically opens up to Casca in this manner. But it also, as us, the audience, allows us to understand what he is thinking. And I was pretty much right that he's wondering what he is fighting for, what his existence means, what he is living for. Ever since he heard Griffith's, speech to Princess Charlotte, he starts saying, about his second in command wanting to, after the war is over, to open up a clothing shop. One of his other subordinates proposed to a woman, but this woman didn't want to marry him because he was a common soldier. So he's striving to have 100 men under him and become higher up in Griffith's army. And then proposed to her again. This also makes me feel like it's going back to when Casca called Guts a mad dog and said he doesn't care about his comrades, he only cares about swinging his sword. That obviously is not true. We've seen it's not true because how he tried to save Casca. Also, it's not true because of how he is talking to Casca right now, explaining to her what each, two of his subordinates, his second in command and one of his other subordinates, want to do with their life, why they are fighting, alongside Griffith. And he says as he looks out over this, campfire where he's sitting, it's almost like each little flame is a dream and a hope. And they get scattered up and blown into a big bonfire, the blazing inferno, which is Griffith. So they all have their own dreams, and they're fighting for their own dreams, but they're also fighting to support Griffith's dream. And I thought this was really, really interesting, and I thought it was very well written on Kentaro Miura's, account. It showed us more about Guts, but at the same time, he's opening up to somebody you would never think he would have. So they're starting to have some kind of bond, Casca and Guts. And Casca originally went up to Guts to give him that fairy dust, that elf dust that Judo gave her to heal Guts. And that's when this whole conversation started. And then it led to basically Casca realizing, Guts might be talking about leaving the Band of the Hawk because he goes, I just happened to stumble in on this campfire and he goes, my flame is not here. Basically, this isn't where his flame is, and he basically explains, he's just hanging out by the bonfire, keeping warm as he fights, So that's when she realizes, maybe Guts is going to leave the Hawk. And he goes, I told you I'm going to fight this campaign, even if I have to crawl. But after that, he doesn't really go on. But after that, who knows what he's going to do. They get interrupted by two people basically saying that Griffith is back. And that's when Guts and Casca go down there. And Guts is just like, yo. And Casca, starts apologizing profusely. I'm not fit to be a commander, and Guts smacks her on her ass, and she kind of gets close to Griffith. And Griffith don't give a fuck. Griffith doesn't really reprimand her in this instance. He doesn't say you were wrong, you shouldn't have done that. He's just happy to have her back and happy to have Guts back. And, Guts goes off to drink some with his subordinates, with his troops, and that's when we get a cutscene to the Midland Army is like one of their knights or whatever, higher ups, and we find out that the whole White Tiger unit squadron was wiped out at some castle, I guess, called Doldre, and apparently it's impregnable. And this is most likely going to be our next battle. This is going to be the next setting for for this war. And apparently, at this time, there is one of Tudor's strongest units marching on them right now, and that's the Holy Purple Knight, Armored Knights or something like that. So that's very interesting that, we got Guts and Casca back, but now we're already getting, thrown head first into another conflict. We have these Holy Purple Knights, Holy Purple Rhino Knights heading towards Midland, and meanwhile, they're trying to take over or trying to get in the Doldre as well, which I assume is a castle because it says that it's impenetrable or whatever. So, looking forward to seeing where the next battle is going to take us. Looking forward to see what Guts is going to do after this whole campaign is over. How Casca is going to react. How the other Band of the Hawk members are going to react. Quirkus especially. Quirkus is probably going to be like, whatever. fuck him, let him go. Griffith, I think, is going to have another thing to say because he wants Guts to continue to be in the Band of the Hawk. So if Guts decides to leave, possibly they're going to have another like sword fight, how they had in the beginning, to bring Guts in to the Hawk. So knowing these two, how they wager things, how they decide what's going to happen, I would think it would be fitting for the two to have another sword battle to see if Guts is going to leave or if he's going to stay. If it even gets to that point, maybe Guts won't even leave. Maybe he'll decide to stay. I don't know. But overall, not a bad chapter. Enjoyed it. A lot of dialogue, but it was necessary dialogue, and I enjoyed getting a little bit of insight into what Guts is thinking. Let me know your thoughts on my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter. Like the video if you feel I deserve it. Subscribe if you're a new viewer and you want to see more of my Berserk reviews. Along with my other content, just go over to my channel. Check out my playlists. You know, my playlists that I have organized nicely, easy to navigate, easily accessible. They're really organized. You can see what my content is and what I put out. And if you enjoy it and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button so you're updated whenever I do upload a new video. Berserk and Toriko are daily reviews Monday through Friday. But overall, good chapter, like I said. That's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching my chapter review for Berserk entitled Campfire of Dreams. I will catch you guys in the next Berserk review.